WNK.net.
All your ag news in one place with the Washington Ag Network at 7:45 and 8:45 a.m. and 12:45 and 5:45 p.m. weekdays on News Radio 610 KONA.
Now, back to News Radio 610 KONA's coverage of the 2018 Columbia Cup, presented by Farmers Exchange in Kennewick.
Welcome back. Brutsman's Barge, Michael McDonald, Ed Dawson. Down in the pits, our A1 Refrigeration and Heating pit reporter Brad Luce, and entire factory turn number 2. It's Kevin Rounce filling in for Tony Ott, who's on the injured reserve.
Yeah, the disabled list, yes.
Well, physically unable to, the PUP list. But recovering, and Tony, we know you're listening, and certainly miss you, and hope you make it down to the river with Parker during the weekend. So, taking a look at some of the action that's happened in the season so far, and let's head down to the Neil F. Lamson pits and get Brad Luce back on the horn here and talk about Guntersville, Alabama. And Brad, I know you had a chance to go down there and enjoy the racing, and it certainly was one of the best finals, perhaps, that we've seen in quite some time, and a duel between what we figure would be the two leaders, Jimmy Shane in the home street, and the 9, Andrew Tate, in the Les Schwab tire boat. And they did not disappoint. And I think what my takeaway from watching it on video was, on the outside, Andrew Tate in the 9 was able to get the win over Jimmy Shane on the inside.
Yeah, I think that was the most surprising thing to me, was the fact that, and I think I said it during the broadcast on about lap 2, that I didn't think he had it as fast as that 9 boat is. I didn't think he was quick enough to be able to drive around Jimmy on the outside, but he was. And then he was able to hold him there, and he gave Jimmy a lot of room. If you watch the videotape there, and some of the video that's out there, you can actually hear the parts of the conversation between the radio man and Andrew Tate, and they were saying, you know, tighten it up, keep him in there a little tighter, but he was giving him plenty of room on the inside, and it also almost came around to bite him in the rear end, because Jimmy almost caught him at the end of the line. And it was terrific. I think I said when it was over that I'd been watching boat racing for over 60 years, and that final heat was right up there with the very best. It was just, and it was really good too, because the fans, we'd had a tough weekend down there with high winds and rough water, and we had a major storm warning come through. They had to evacuate the entire park. It was amazing to see how that all played out on Saturday. So I think everybody really wanted to put on a good show, and we finally got on the water, and that final was worth the price of admission. It was awesome.
So tell us about the venue, because this is somewhat new to us. It hasn't been on the circuit for decades.
No, I think it was 49 years, if I remember. It was since 1969 when they ran down there the last time, and they actually had the 1969 Miss Budweiser on display down there, and that was the boat that won the 69 race. The venue was absolutely gorgeous. The viewing on the starting line side, the side that you're on the Kennewick side here, the viewing on that side of the lake, and it's Lake Guntersville, the viewing on that side was beautiful. It was very similar to Seattle in that you had a shoreline drive, a street that ran along the shoreline, but between that street and the water's edge was all open parkland and green grass and so forth, and beaches, and then there were homes on the other side. And because the homes were there, they didn't have any parking, and you couldn't drive your car right to the race. You had to go to various spots around Guntersville, and then they brought you in by school bus. And it sounds very hectic. It was similar to what we did at Coeur d'Alene in 2013.
Exactly.
But it worked beautifully. It just worked beautifully. I got something for you, Michael.
Yes, Brad.
I'm going to break up what we were just talking about there. I got a little something here for you. I think I do. I think I do. Come on, Mike. Not you, Mike. The other Mike. I thought that was gonna be timed out just perfect. Here we go. I got this for you, Michael McDonald. And for our listeners on 610 KONA, here is our first boat on the water. It is our Columbia Cup 2018. It's the U12, our defending champion here on the Columbia River, J. Michael Kelly, Graham Trucking.
All right, out on the water, and we'll get it on the clock. First qualifying run of 2018 at the Hapo Columbia Cup and Over the River Air Show. Just a note, when boats cross the infield, our coverage of the DMZ is brought to you by ESCO Electric of the Tri-Cities, local electric specialist, serving the region since 1972. That's ESCO Electric. Let's go over to turn number 2, because headed right towards Kevin Rout's Tire Factory turn number 2 is the 12 with J. Michael Kelly.
Yeah, still getting things pulled up right now, but I'm actually very excited to see what this boat has, because we haven't seen this boat all season. But watched during warm-ups, during the testing period, it is extraordinarily fast around the Tire Factory turn 2 down here, and he is just starting to get lined up, and we'll get to see him go down as he heads down the back stretch. The beautiful red with the white lettering of the U-12 Graham trucking boat heading on down the back stretch and over towards Mr. Michael McDonald.
Yep, heading towards you, Pullett Auto Parts turn number 3 and our Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 at the top end of the course. It's a 4-corner super speedway we call here, so we can dial in exactly where things go wrong or where things go right. Hey, Kevin, remember, we were just talking about Guntersville and how Jimmy Shane was on the inside and lost that race to Andrew Tate in the 9 on the outside. Last year, it was this boat that didn't start on the inside that ended up with the checkered flag.
Yeah, but if you remember last year, it had the absolute best start you could almost have. He was at full speed as he crossed the start-finish line, and it had been kind of a bit of a mess up to that point, and I think that gave J. Michael Kelly all he needed to win this race last year.
All right, J. Michael Kelly out on the water. This is the first race of the season for the U-12 Graham Trucking as he heads into West Coast Auto Dealers turn number 1. The wall of water comes off the skid fin, headed over to Tire Factory turn number 2. Kevin.
Absolutely, and he's looked really good out of that turn right there, smooth across the water, heading up the back stretch, and he looks very fast already in this first qualifying lap.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, Brad.
Michael, have you got? Are you going to be able to get speeds? He's on the clock here. Are you getting him?
We do not have the monitor set up just yet.
All right, I got to find where I can stand next to somebody and get a speed for us.
I do have the Twitter up. If they post them on Twitter, I'll let you guys know.
All right. Very good. That's fantastic. Now, one thing we will mention, the river conditions, Brad, are so smooth that may cause a little bit slower speeds.
Well, that's what we always talk about, you know, the sticky water. They don't like it when it's a sheet of glass. They like to have just a little light chop, and you're right. We've got, this is a little bit more toward the glassy look. But here Mike comes into view. He's got 1 in the books. He's officially qualified. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was north of 130 miles an hour. And I'm sure it was. Coming right to Kevin. He looks good.
Oh, he looks fantastic. Barely bouncing it all through the water. Gets out of turn 2, heading up the backstretch. Looking very fast as that water shoots in behind him with that rooster tail. Yeah, I'm thinking this is in the mid to upper 150 range. That's a great speed. He looks great right now, heading up to turn 3.
Well, the one thing is turn number 2 is where the boats tend to lose a lot of speed. And in qualifying, there's just no other river traffic. So it's smooth through there, and you can get a better turn and better speed and hold on to it through the corner.
155.6.
Good call, Kevin. Good call. We get him across the Griggs Ace Hardware start-finish line, and we'll get lap number 2 for J. Michael Kelly and the 12 Graham Trucking. Headed down the front stretch towards the Blue Bridge.
A little bit of bounce there, it looks like, at least from over here.
And back into turn number 1, it's West Coast Auto Dealers to Tire Factory turn number 2.
Oh, yeah, he looks like he's tuning it up a little bit more, too, bouncing out around turn 2. He does get that little bit of slowdown as he exits turn 2, heading up to the backstretch where he gets to spool it up again. But, oh, he looks really good out there. And I bet for all these guys love to race, but for J. Michael, not having been able to be there at Guntersville or Madison, I think this is especially sweet right now.
156.2.
This is really solid run off the trailer, isn't it, for the first time this season? There's some cheering going on with the spotters. Now coming out of the Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, a fantastic turn. He was holding the buoy line extremely tight, floors it coming down the front stretch, across the Griggs Ace Hardware start-finish line, and lap number 3. And that should be it for the qualifying run for J. Michael Kelly in the 12 Graham Trucking.
And Michael, you mentioned this is the first time the boat's been out on the water this season, and it couldn't be a better setup for J. Michael Kelly returning to the place where he won last year. He's very familiar with this course, and getting that boat out on the water for the first time. This is about as perfect a setup to get a qualifying run with this boat for the first time out this season on a familiar course. And Brad, it's turning back into the pit area. I would imagine that there's some happy crew.
1:56 was his high lap. And Mike Kelly coming back right now is probably wondering what happened. You might recognize that sound in the background as the boat from Gadsden, Alabama. And yeah, I know where Gadsden, Alabama is now. I drove through it on the way to Guntersville, but here comes Cal Phipps in the Oh Boy Oberto retro color scheme. They are back out on the water. And I mentioned Kelly must have wondered what happened as he comes back to the pit area. When he left, he was the only boat at the dock. He comes back to find 3 or 4 in the water. And he's going to have to pull in way down at the far end. But we'll catch a word with J. Michael when he steps off the boat. He's just now killed the motor and he's drifting in, but we'll get him as soon as he comes off.
So the Oberto and Cal Phipps now out where Kevin Rounce is in turn number 2.
Absolutely, and I got the chance to watch them do a little bit of testing this morning to see how this boat looked. It looked very fast, and I got to be honest, it looks great. I love the retro scheme. I love seeing the Oh Boy Oberto back out on the water, and I am glad they brought it here to the Tri-Cities.
And Cal Phipps, of course, very familiar with this course as well. So we'll see what he can turn into a time. So Brad, when you're down in the pits area, who else is in line to come out?
We got the 21 is in the water with Brian Perkins. We've also got the 440 is in the water. You've got Cal Phipps out on the water. Wow. And I want to, as Cal Phipps comes by the start-finish line, and Kevin, as he goes by you, they suffered some pretty extensive damage in Guntersville.
Big collision.
On the right side decking above the sponson. And when they rebuilt the deck and the sponson on that outside, the right side of the boat that you can see coming to you, take a look at it real close. You'll see they actually dropped that sponson. It's what we call a drop sponson. The deck is not smooth from the center of the boat all the way to the edge above the sponson. There is a ridge there, a la the U9 and a couple of other boats. So if you look at it real close, you'll see a drop sponson. Meanwhile, I'm going to stay right here because I got my good buddy who I'm expecting is going to have a smile on his face now. Nice to be back in the big boat, Mr. Kelly.
That's the biggest thing for us. You guys put a lot of work into this thing this off season, and unfortunately we weren't able to make the first 2 races, but you know, we're here to defend our championship or our win from last year and try to keep the shade. But it just feels really good to be back out in the water in the Grand Trucking boat, and boat feels great. You know, obviously we're gonna have to keep on working and tuning this thing, but you know, and that's what we're gonna do. We got some of the best guys in the sport, and just get lucky to get a go drive for these guys. So we're gonna make this thing faster and hopefully put on a great show for everybody here.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. We're very glad you're here. We missed you back east, and I know you were chomping at the bit to go. But first time out of the box here on the qualifying, a $1:56. I think you got to be really happy.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I don't even know if we ran that last year, and you know, so I mean that's pretty good. It shows the work that the guys did in the off season. You know, it'll continue. It'll pay off. It might take a little bit to get there, but you know, these guys are a great group of guys, and they're working hard, and they're going to give me the best and safest boat they can possibly give me, and hopefully we go out there and win some races.
And you already alluded to the last question I want to ask you, because how is that shade?
It's pretty nice. I don't want to give it away, so hopefully we find some. Hopefully we find a lot of speed where none of these guys can run with us. But you know, we're gonna have to work hard because all these guys are fast, and it's not going to be easy for anybody. So biggest thing is we're here to go make it tougher on everybody else, and there'll be some good racing this weekend. We've got a lot of boats and a lot of fast boats.
Can't have any fun without a defending Columbia Cup champion. Congratulations on last year, but that's last year. Go get another one.
Exactly. Just happy to be running some laps.
Good to see you, my friend. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, J. Michael Kelly right there, 1:56. Pretty darn happy as well. They should be. And anybody, you guys don't have any speeds on Mr. Phipps, I assume?
Not at this point at the Brunsmith Memorial Barge here at the Griggs Ace Hardware start-finish line. Kevin, anything up on the Twitter?
Not seeing anything yet. I'll try to continue to search around and see what I can find.
And Brad, let's talk about that sponson and the way that it's offset now.
You see,
what type of an advantage do they feel that gives them?
It's tied to airflow over the deck. Basically, you know, Hanauer used to say this all the time, that if you take the sponsons off these boats and the cowling and the wing, what you're left with is just an airplane wing. And he used to call the sponsons the training wheels, and so it's an airplane wing with training wheels. So it's all about how you can control the air, A, over the top of the deck, and at the same time control the air underneath it. So you get lift on one and down pressure on the other, and how you move the air around. And with the drop sponson, it's just a way to maneuver that air a little bit. It also creates a vertical edge from the front of the boat at least halfway back. they run, it assists in directional stability as well. So they'll try it. It'll be interesting to talk to Cal here and see what he has to say about that sponson and about the repairs that took place after a nasty collision there. You alluded to it.
Well, and let's mention it's the U1918 celebrating 100 years of Oberto.
Yep. It is, and kind of a unique thing in this. And we've had Oh Boy Oberto and Oberto Sausage Company sponsors out here for years and years and years, and they're talking about this as a retro paint job and color scheme, but this one's a little different than anything I think they've really ever done before. It's similar to some stuff in the past, but this looks really cool.
Well, and if you notice, it's got a metallic portion of the paint that really kind of glitters out there in the sunshine.
It does, and it's coming back to the dock here, and I'm glad you said that because I was going to try and mention that, but you know, with that colorblind thing going on here.
It's just shiny.
It's just really shiny, and it glitters, and Cal just shut it off here.
Yeah, we have the 21 with Brian Perkins.
Correct.
Out on the Payne West Insurance boat. Brian Perkins heading up the back stretch. Coverage on News Radio 610 KONA thanks to Tri-Cities Phone and PC Repair. You know, it's not normal for your phone to die all the time, and they can help you so it won't die. It's tcphonerepair.com. Extremely affordable and reliable. Also, urgent care sponsor. It's Physicians Immediate Care. Open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. No appointment needed. Find out more at PICMC.com.
I have some lap times for you.
Excellent. Let's go. Cal Phipps.
Cal Phipps maxed out lap 3, 154.876.
154.876.
All right, 154.8. That was the fastest of the three?
That's correct.
Okay.
And what was our fastest on the 12 again?
The fastest on the 12 was 156.2.
Okay.
156. So we'll get a good buddy Calvin here. He'll see me. He'll start running the other way here in a minute.
And Brian Perkins has already completed a lap, and you can recognize that boat with the checkerboard.
Let me jump in here, guys. Mr. Phipps, how are you? And welcome to the Tri-Cities, my friend.
Hey, thank you. Very happy to be here. Obviously, we got the big shiny Oberto sponsorship. We're very happy. And, it's going to be hot. We got Broadmoor Super Centers, RV Centers. Gave us a beautiful 5 slide-out trailer, so they all nice us here. And we're really excited. Got a couple runs with a couple different setups. I believe we gained about 1.5 miles an hour, so if we can do that every time out, we're going to be pretty good.
One of the things you're going to learn with this Oberto sponsorship thing is you get to wear a nice black driver's suit when you come over here in the 100-degree heat.
Well, they told me I need to lose a little weight, so they're going to use the heat to, like, burn it off me, I think. But you know what? Black, fluorescent, orange, green, blue, give it to me. As long as it says Oberto, I'm a happy man.
Well, the thing looks awesome. You had some damage after Guntersville. Talk to me a little bit about that right sponson. You got it dropped there. You feel anything different about?
No, I'm not feeling anything different. The water conditions are perfect right now. Going down the backstretch, I run over some chop, and it got a little, got my attention, but it wasn't like it was out of control like it usually did. It did a left-right walk, okay. And that usually means, hey, warning, lights are flashing, but it's not a red light. So the boat seems to be doing pretty well. We've got a whole long list of setups we want to try. We've got a couple new toys we want to play with, and we're going to use every inch of this water and every minute we can get on it and try to tune us a setup for later this weekend.
So you guys are real happy with it, first out of the box and everything. You got to be pleased.
Yeah, we're glad to be back. This boat likes this race course. I'm glad Oberto come with us here to let us come here and test. And this is like a real good test tune dial in for this Oberto team.
And you mentioned the Broadmoor RV Superstore that you got right over here in the back. Let's do the next interview up there.
Oh, let's do it right in the Broadmoor RV Super Centers trailer. Like I said, 5 slide-outs, hardwood floor. You got to come see this thing. Those guys brought it down and they say, Cal, the boat's beautiful. Your driving suit is brand new. It looks great. But wait till you see this RV. So, again, if we could get everybody to go to @Oberto Beef Jerky at Twitter, wish them a happy 100th anniversary. And also thank them for supporting us again this year and coming back and giving us a beautiful boat to watch go out and play.
Cal, it's great to have you back in the Tri-Cities, the Wiggins family. Bring the boat out here. Have a good weekend. We'll be talking.
Thank you. I hope we talk a whole lot.
All right, works for me. Thanks, Cal. Cal Phipps, how did we do on, you guys grab any numbers?
We got the second lap for the 21 was 152.4, but I have not seen a speed yet for the third lap.
That's got to be pretty good, I would think.
I'm wondering if these boats are quite happy out in this water right now, because they do seem to have a lot of speed here for qualifying. 152.9, so that'll be the top speed for the 21, 152.9.
152.9, and as Brian has popped the lid, he's coming back now.
You know, Brad, one of the things also, obviously you have smoother water because you have one boat at a time during the qualifying session, but also cooler temperatures at this portion of the day.
Yeah, it's going to get hotter later on in the afternoon, and they're actually breaking this qualifying session into 2 periods on the schedule. So we're going to have one later in the day. It may be a little more difficult to increase or improve your speed because, to your point, it's going to get a lot warmer. And the rated horsepower on these motors are done so at sea level at 65 degrees temperature. And the last time I checked, it's going to get a little above that, I think.
Yeah, well, it's above it already.
A skosh. There comes Dustin Eccles. He had a little bit of a longer time to get it up on a plane, but Kevin, you got a big ball of bright orange coming your way.
Oh, and it's a beautiful bright orange. He's kind of taking the wide way around as he gets in, kind of trying to get the line up so he can get kind of a little bit of a running start almost as he comes into the Tire Factory Turn 2. This boat's their owners, Kelly Stockland, Karen and Sharon Stockland. One of the greatest stories about getting any young person interested in boat racing out there. Kelly breaking in essentially and learning as a kid and just getting excited and getting connected into the sport that way and getting just falling in love with it as Eccles goes down the back stretch, headed into Turn 3.
And Brad, this is a different type of boat than any other of the Unlimiteds out on the circuit. And you can tell immediately by looking at it, it is not quite as long. It's not quite as big.
Now, it's definitely a smaller boat than the other Unlimiteds, but before we get into that real quickly, what was the quick lap on the 21? Did we have 152?
152.9.
152.9. Okay, we just had some questions down here on the dock. Yes, the boat out here that Kelly owns and that Dustin Eccles is driving was not built originally as an unlimited hydroplane. If you go back about 10 years, and I'm thinking it was back 5 or 6 years, so that means it's about 10. I have a hard time remembering those types of things. This was, you remember the class called the G class?
Yes.
They ran with the unlimited lights, and it was a step up from the unlimited lights, but not as far up as to the unlimiteds.
And it was an automotive power plant.
Automotive power plant. And so that's what this boat was built as. And so it's a little bit smaller boat on the water. It runs a little bit smaller turbine. It runs a T53 versus the T55. And if you want to go back to the beginning of turbine power, when we really started to see it mature and come of age in 1974 here in the Columbia River with a boat called the U-95, there were twin turbines on that one, and they were twin turbines similar to that which is aboard the 440. So a little different concept here. They're banking on to be competitive with the power to weight ratio. The boat is smaller, it's much lighter, they don't have as much horsepower, but they're not trying to kick as much weight around the race course. I'm real curious to hear what kind of a lap speed we get out of this, because it was on Saturday a year ago when this boat turned everybody's heads and ran consistent laps north of 145.
Well, I tell you, Dustin's putting some air underneath it coming across the start-finish line, the Griggs Ace Hardware start-finish line here at the Brunswick Memorial Barge, but he's definitely backing off the throttle. I don't know if Kevin has any speeds yet in Tire Factory Turn number 2.
Not yet, but yeah, it looks like he did one lap. And
yeah, he's coming back.
And he's back down. He's down. Let's see if the good folks over at H1 keeping me informed. So
good.
We'll see what I'll let you know when we get a time.
Very good. Kevin's over in our Tire Factory Turn number 2. Special thanks on our broadcast on News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. Highlands Organic Market. They want to remind you to drink plenty of water, have sunscreen. It's going to be hot. Remember, prevention is better than the cure. Highlands Organic Market. Crave natural. Also, thanks to Derwin and everybody at All Doors Incorporated. For service, repair, and installation of all automatic and manual entry systems, it's All Doors Incorporated. Call 547-2158. And Clover Island Inn. It's your in-town destination resort. 4th floor, Riverview Suites. They have the Riverside patio pool and hot tub and fantastic food in the Crow's Nest. Log on to cloverislandinn.com or call 586-0541. And Smoke City for Less, the #1 smoke and vape shop in town, along with Total Quality Air. For all your air conditioner needs, remember, Total Quality Air is here for you. Paradise Auto. Don't forget to visit Paradise Auto, where you apply, you will qualify. And the Glass Doctor. For all your windshield repair needs, call Dan at the Glass Doctor. Dan knows his cracks. Also, White's Furniture, solid wood, solid value in downtown Kennewick. We'll take a time out. More of our coverage coming up of the Hapo Columbia Cup and Over the River Air Show on News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com.
While politicians were making promises, Christopher Tracy was in the trenches, working with schools to reduce employee health insurance premiums and creating housing opportunities for veterans and seniors. As District 8 Position 2 representative, Tracy wants to help us in Eastern Washington. He has a plan to lower college tuition, make better use of tax dollars, and improve school security.
I'm Christopher Tracy. Your vote will make a difference.
Paid by people for Chris Tracy, Democrat.
Westside Auto Licensing, serving the Tri-Cities since 1991. Westside Auto Licensing provides licensing services for vehicles, vessels, ORVs, snowmobiles, trailers, and more. Westside Auto Licensing with 2 locations to serve you in Pasco at the Autoplex and now on Verdon Boulevard, featuring a drive-through window, making your renewal a breeze. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon at the Autoplex. And Tuesday through Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. on Verdon Boulevard. Westside Auto Licensing, exceptional customer service, always.
What's your vision? Come on, we all have a vision of the dream kitchen we'd love to have. Bring it to life with Thermador from Bunch Finnegan. With Thermador appliances, you can create unforgettable experiences in your kitchen. Right now at Bunch Finnegan, pick any 2 qualifying Thermador appliances and get a Thermador dishwasher free. The Bunch Finnegan Kitchen Pros will put it all together. Bunch Finnegan, 9 East Columbia Drive, Kennewick, and go to bunch.com.
Bunch Finnegan. Thanks a bunch.
Physicians' immediate care clinics know that waiting isn't fun, especially when you're not feeling well. If your wait time may exceed 40 minutes, you're given the option to be called about 15 minutes before you're due to be seen. As an established patient, you can also call ahead to check their wait time, so you can stay at home until it's time to see the doctor. Physicians' Immediate Care on Torbit in Richland. Go to picmic.com. That's PICMC.com. Before we open our first Tri-Cities branch, STCU wanted to sample some local cuisine. First, what is a Spud Nut? Oh, that's a really, really good donut place. Soon, we found ourselves at the Spud Nut shop eating warmed-up chocolate Spud Nuts. Then, time for more research at El Fat Cat Taco Truck, which offers shordubu. Some people can't say ciabatta. Yes, that. Delicious. We may be new here, but we're fast learners. STCU is a credit union, federally insured by NCUA.
It's time for the 2018 Umatilla County Fair in Hermiston from August 7th through the 11th at the Eastern Oregon Trade and Event Center. Davis Carnival rides, incredible food, livestock, and open class exhibits, plus out-of-this-world entertainment on the Wild Horse Resort and Casino main stage. Tuesday, August 7th, it's country legend Sawyer Brown.
Some girls don't like boys like me.
Wednesday, August 8th, catch Dead Ladue.
Highway, we've seen it all.
Thursday, August 9th, rock out with Skid Row. Friday night, Latino night. And Saturday, August 11th, the fair winds down with Blues Traveler. Reserve seats are on sale for all shows right now online through the fair website or at the fair office for just $12. General admission to all shows with your fair admission. Be a part of the Umatilla County Fair August 7th through 11th in Hermiston.
Tired of looking at senior living options that don't fit you and the lifestyle you want? Come have lunch and visit Solstice Senior Living at Kennewick on their beautifully landscaped campus at 8264 West Grand Ridge Boulevard. Offering studios, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments, Solstice provides 3 chef-prepared meals in a gorgeous dining room, a vibrant life activity calendar catered to your needs. Housekeeping and maintenance for a whole lot less than you would expect. Call 866-431-3313 today. Solstice Senior Living in Kennewick. Independent senior living. It's what you've been looking for.
The 2000
staff. It all comes together. It takes a team effort to make this go.
Yeah, Kathy Powell, Lori Schumacher, and everybody down at the Water Quality's office, just a Herculean effort to make sure that this event continues without a hitch. Now let's talk a little bit about the safety out on the water, because that is paramount this weekend.
It is, and we've got all the sleds, rescue sleds out there. They go through a lot of intense training. The diver, the EMTs, the paramedics, or whoever's on the sled. And over the years, we've been able to bring the drivers out of a crash, and they're alive today. Back in '97, we had the bad one with Vilvock on the Budweiser, and he's alive and well today. He beat Bill Munsey's record. And so they train, and then plus the other thing, our patrol boats out here, they keep the perimeter safe. We don't want anybody swimming out and getting hurt, and so they are out in the sun all day. And so a big thank you to everybody volunteering in our official boats out here. So without the volunteers, all the professionals, we could not put the race on.
And let's talk about those patrol boats and their job. And this is going to be tough this weekend with temperatures moving into triple digits, because people are going to want to be out swimming. But it's essential when the hydroplanes are on the river that they are out of the river. No swimmers in the water.
That is correct, because hopefully we wouldn't have a hydro go out of control, but there's always the chance of a rudder breaking, and we don't want people getting hurt. Safety number one.
All right, Kate. Thanks so much for joining us. And if you ever need any work done on your boat, it's Metz Mobile Marine.
You bet. One last plug. The Kennewick Lions Club is serving really good food this weekend.
Of course they are.
You bet.
Yep, and we'll be enjoying it.
Thank you, Michael.
Yep, you'll find the Lions Mobile Kitchen just at the end of the driving range on the Kennewick shoreline, near the Gold Star Families in the grandstand. That's a great effort that you guys put in that trailer down there.
You bet.
Thank you very much, Kay.
Thank you.
K-Met's joining us on the broadcast, and let's go back down to the Neil F. Lamson pits, and Brad Luce, our pit reporter, thanks to A1 Refrigeration and Heating, as the Home Street Bank boat is back out on the course.
It is back out on the course. I did get a speed, just a roundabout set of numbers on Tom Thompson in the U11. Reliable Diamond Tool presents Miss J&D's. Hot lap was just north of 152. The reason that Dustin Eccles only took a single lap in the 440, the temperature gauge started to climb on him, so discretion, the better part of valor. He finished off quickly the lap and then got it back to the pits where they'll take a look at things, but he did run the lap at 139, as you said, so he's qualified. But meanwhile, we've got some real speed set to get out here on the race course. One of them is already there. It is the defending national high point champion, Jimmy Shane, the Miss Home Street. The Home Street blue boat is just ripping up the backstretch right now, Michael. I know you got a great view, and he is on the clock.
He is on the clock, that blue and white boat. And Brad, we had a chance to talk to their new crew chief when they were down here about a month or so ago for testing and on the river. And her story will be coming up a little bit later on in the weekend, one of our special profiles. And she's been hard at work, as has the whole crew, Cindy Shirley. And her story about how she got into boat racing and on those crews and ascending to this position. Bittersweet, obviously, because of the passing of the former crew chief, but she is ready and willing and certainly able to take the reins of this crew, and the boat looks really good right now.
It does look really good, and we'll look forward to hearing that discussion with Cindy. She is a great gal. And she has definitely earned her way to this position. Young kid starting out just as a fan of unlimited hydroplane racing in Evansville, Indiana, and now all the way up to the first female crew chief in the turbine era. And she knows her job. I just watched her get everything ready on the U1 to come out on the course, and it's just business as usual. She handles everything very methodically, like you have to, and they definitely give her the respect on the Home Street Bank team. Don't have any speeds on this, but Jimmy's got 2 in the books, and I'll bet they're good. Kevin, he's at the apex right in your lap.
Absolutely. Boy, does he look real fast right now. Just hugging the buoy line, getting around turn 2, getting into the backstretch, just flying up the river on the Pasco side, heading up towards turn 3 and Michael McDonald.
And this boat, guys, and Jimmy Shane has had some success on this course and in this stop on the tour. So, and they brought 2 boats. Brad, talk to us about what they want to try to get out of this.
Well, I think the original statement.
Well, we might have lost Brad there for a second. There we go.
Are we back? Yep.
Yeah, Brad's back. Go ahead, Brad.
But the original discussion was they wanted to come here and run both boats and make a decision on which one they would race. And they can do that. They can qualify both boats. And then at some point, though, before we go racing tomorrow, they have to declare.
Yeah, Brad's cutting out again, but I think he was going to say at some point you'd have to declare which one that you're going to use for the weekend. So long as both are qualified, you can make that choice as a team, correct?
Correct. And then if one of them fails, if one of them falters at any point, you cannot defer to the second boat. Once you declare
with the biggest names in industrial cleaning equipment. Columbia Basin Hot Sea on Oregon Avenue in Pasco. Blue Line Manufacturing in Pasco, Sunnyside, and Yakima, your Kubota dealer. The future of agriculture is building with ag orchard and vineyard equipment. Blue Line Manufacturing for all your farming equipment needs. Washington Furniture and Hardware, they've been serving the Tri-Cities since 1919 at 6 West Kennewick Avenue downtown. Stop by for all your home improvement needs. They're in downtown Kennewick. SS Equipment, your perfect...
It takes courage to step into big shoes and still walk your own path. At UBS, we match your ambition.
Perfect match for the right equipment. Big savings, farming operation. They're in Pasco, Othello, Quincy, and Hermiston for New Holland tractors. And battery systems. Do you need a battery for your car, boat, truck, or RV? It's battery systems for anything you need power for. Take a time out. More of our coverage coming up. The Hapo Columbia Cup and Over the River Air Show. News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com.
Hi, I'm Matt Benke. I was raised in Kennewick.
Barbecue season, and Sportsman's Warehouse is the place to shop to help you take it outside. They've got pellet grills, water toys, any and all camping gear and supplies, all your fishing equipment and more. And they'll price match anyone in town. Come to your local experts who know their products. Ask any one of their knowledgeable staff about your fishing and camping needs. Sportsman's Warehouse, located off Canal in Kennewick. No need to go anywhere else. Let Sportsman's Warehouse help you take it outside.
Choose from over 750 vehicles, both foreign and domestic, at each You Pull It Auto Parts location in Pasco and Yakima. The yards are clean and organized, arranged by manufacturer and model type. Bring your own tools, pull your own parts, and save big money. All parts are pre-priced with a 30-day warranty. The mission at You Pull It Auto Parts is to provide great customer service with the highest quality used auto parts at the lowest possible price. You Pull It Auto Parts, 14 East Washington Avenue in Yakima and 802 South Oregon Avenue in Pasco. Online at go2youpullit.com.
You are listening to the Water Follies thanks to Farmers Exchange on News Radio 610 KONA, Kennewick, Richland, Pasco.
Now, back to News Radio 610 KONA's coverage of the 2018 Columbia Cup, presented by Farmers Exchange in Kennewick.
Welcome back, race fans, at the Griggs Ace Hardware start-finish line. Brunsman's Memorial Barge on the course, the 9. That would be Andrew Tate. He was the winner in Guntersville. Let's go down to the A1 Refrigeration Heating Pit Tower and West Coast Auto Dealers. Turn number 1, Brad Luce.
Oh, sorry, and I am on, but I am not where I've got a good view. You caught me walking here. And
well, Tire Factory turn 2.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, after he exited turn 1, he got the boat up in the air a little bit, and I think he had to calm it down as he exited Tire Factory turn 2. Headed up the backstretch, but boy, the 9 is really fast right now. We might see another 162, 163 range.
Up around the top end of the course, You Pull It Auto Parts turn number 3 into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. It's Andrew Tate holding the buoy line, and he'll come across the Griggs Ace Hardware start-finish line.
158.6.
158. What about this lap as we get the second lap on the clock with Andrew Tate in the 9, headed down the front stretch to West Coast Auto Dealers turn number 1.
I can hear him, but I can't see him yet, and we're 159, 148.
He is bouncing around down here on the east end of the course before he gets up. So they're going to probably take a look at that. But yeah, either the water's gotten a little choppier down here in 1 and 2. But he's definitely not been as smooth as the 1 was down here.
So Andrew Tate up the backstretch into You Pull It Auto Parts turn number 3. A little bit hazy out there. We really can't see Rattlesnake Mountain, and the backdrop is readily as normal. So I know we've had some fires in the area, and we certainly thank all those first responders that are out there fighting the fires. That is a job that's just incredible and intense, especially in the heat. Across the start-finish line, lap number 3, it's Andrew Tate in the 9, Les Schwab tire. And Delta Real Track headed down the front stretch. He's backed up the throttle, and he'll take it back to the Neil F. Lamson pits. And our A1 refrigeration and heating pit reporter, Brad Luce.
And Kevin, really quick, in the U1, when the Miss Home Street Bank, do you recall? I believe it was a 162. It was a high 162, was it not?
Yeah, it was 3/100th of a second short of 163. It's a 162.97.
Okay.
The 9, the U9 got a 160.52.
Okay.
Yep.
And that Home Street Bank again.